Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to. As you can tell by the title to this video, today I'm going to be going over kiddie pool gardening and how to be successful with it, because that's what we all want. We all want to be successful. This is going to go over just a lot of different things in a sense, and yeah, give you guys some encouragement and yeah, showing that anybody can grow with a kiddie pool anywhere. All you have to do is have the kiddie pool or purchase a kiddie pool. But other than that, it's pretty simple. So this is my kiddie pool. It's the bigger one. It's a 5 foot, I think it's 5 or 6 foot across. These pools are very, very useful. I also do a handful of smaller ones. Really tell, but compared to these, very different. But those are very, very good for a multitude of seeds that you can grow. So, or multitude of plants that you can grow. So, for what I'm doing, well, let's start at the beginning. What you want to do when you get your kiddie pool, whether you're buying it or whatever, you want to make sure that there's proper drainage. I cannot stress that enough. You need to make sure that there's enough drainage all throughout. I actually have a pool right here that's empty. So, you can see the drainage. There's probably a hole every 6 inches or so, and with some random ones spread throughout. I do that so that no matter where this pool is sitting, the water will be able to drain out. It will not just sit in the bottom. Now, I do have that one set up to where a little bit of water can be in the bottom, because smaller pools, any container really, will dry out quicker. Kind of like my mouth right now because it's cold and I'm talking. But any container will dry out very, very quickly in July. So I will water once or twice a day, depending upon how things are going. You also need to note different things take different soil depths. So if you're just doing things with shallow root systems, this smaller pool could be for you. You could have multiple of them and set up multiple different areas of either that plant or different plants that have shallow root systems. For me, I like doing the larger pools because I do grow some things that have some quite elaborate root systems. I also grow strawberries in here. Some strawberries in the kiddie pools as well. Those do very, very well for me. Always have, and they will continue to do so. I just need to add more soil, which also brings me into my next point. You need to make sure that your plants are being fed enough. And by being fed, I just mean putting new compost on top of your beds, or adding some sort of homemade spray, or putting eggshells in the thing for calcium, or really just new compost is all that's needed. Layer it on top and water it in really good, and you're good for a while. So that is a really good option, and I want people to be able to do that, because obviously that is very good. I can grow all my strawberries in here and they're perfectly fine. I do need to add more soil to the top, a fresh layer of compost, to give it the nitrogen that it needs. Now, when you are growing some things in kiddie pools, it can get a little difficult, or whatever else. But yeah, it can be a little difficult, like what happened with me. You also want to make sure that you have enough soil. I did my bigger pools last year and I did not have enough soil. So I was planting things in there that had bigger root systems, but I wasn't filling it up to the area that it needed. I also was not watering properly. And that was another thing that led to those not being as successful. Did they still grow food? Absolutely. Was it as good as it could have been? No. So I'm going to retry this year, and I'm going to try doing more things. I'm going to add another large pool for what is it? Another large pool for June-bearing strawberries. I'm going to be getting another large pool for potatoes, and I'm going to be doing a potato experiment in those. I usually grow them in my 5-gallon buckets, but I want to see if I can grow them in a kiddie pool. I'm going to set aside a same number. I'm going to plant in the kiddie pool first. Then I'm going to set aside that many buckets from how many potatoes that I planted in there. Plant those in the buckets. Leave those buckets aside. Set those buckets aside, and monitor how they do. Are they going to do better, worse? Is it the same outcome? Because if it's the same, then I can just continue growing in the buckets, or I can continue growing in the kiddie pool no matter what. I'm always going to have that now. So that is one thing that I am going to be keeping track of, and looking at how different things are affected. I am going to be trying to maintain the same amount of soil. That is going to be very, very difficult with the same type, because I don't have a lot of older soil right now, unless I just go and take from a bunch of my beds, which I could do because I need to get more soil, but I also want my beds topped off for the year, and I can't do that if I'm doing this. But this is very important, and I have to get more soil anyways, so I'd rather sacrifice planting for a week or two, letting the compost chill or cool instead of getting more. But whatever. You want heavy feeding soil, or you want good compost, obviously, what I talked about, good watering. You also want to know what you're planting in there. You can plant so many different things. With the bigger pool, you could basically plant everything except for big roots, and I'm testing the limits with potatoes, obviously. But I do think that this is going to be a very good alternative. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, I know it doesn't work at that point. But I am going to be taking very detailed notes. I'm going to be doing everything that I can to keep track of the progress. I'm going to see how many potatoes are in the buckets, the same number of buckets, and however many potatoes are planted in here. And that should be a very, very good experiment to do. And I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you guys will stick along for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this shorter video on kiddie pool gardening. This really is good for urban spaces. I know I am urban. I do have areas for raised beds. I have raised beds, but I also enjoy growing in the kiddie pools because it does add a little bit more diversity. It adds something different. You're not just growing in the same spaces all the time, where I can move the kiddie pools and they're not permanent, which is very, very nice. Again, permanent is kind of what you want, but also it's good to be able to move things around and see where things work best. So, yes. Very short video, very simple, packed full of information. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will be putting this into the kiddie pool playlist, and I hope that you guys will check out the rest of the videos in this playlist, and how my kiddie pools do throughout the year. I will keep you guys updated, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.